In the massive world of ancient Indian stories, some figures are just different. They're not just characters, they're more like the foundational pillars of knowledge, of law, even of creation itself. Today, we're going to look up at the stars to really understand the Saptarishis, the 7 incredible sages who were said to guide all of humanity. So, who exactly are these 7 guiding stars? Well, they're way more than just wise old men. Think of them as celestial beings, master teachers, and the progenitors who help shape the destiny of the entire world in every single cosmic age. Let's break down the name. Saptarishi literally just means 7 sages. Now, according to the ancient texts, they are the mind-born sons of the creator god Brahma, and their cosmic job description, it's incredible. Basically, whenever Dharma, that's the cosmic order and righteousness, starts to fade, they are born on Earth to bring back the sacred knowledge of the Vedas and get humanity back on the right track. Now, here's what's really interesting. The lineup of these 7 sages isn't some fixed, static team. Nope, it actually changes with each great cosmic age, or what's known as a manvantara. Why? Well, because each age needs its own specific kind of wisdom to keep the cosmic order. The sages chosen are basically the perfect guides for that particular cycle of humanity. And right now, we're living in the 7th age, the Vaivasvata Manvantara, so the sages we're about to meet, they're the guardians of our time. And here they are, the celestial dream team for our current age. Kashyapa, Atri, Vashistha, Vishwamitra, Gautama, Jamadagni, and Bharadwaj. Each of these names holds a universe of stories, of incredible contributions, and just profound wisdom. All right, let's start with a figure who is just truly cosmic in scale, Sage Kashyapa. I mean, he isn't just a sage. In a lot of ways, he's considered the father of pretty much all life on Earth. Get this. Through his 13 wives, Kashyapa is said to have fathered almost every single form of life you can imagine. From his wife Aditi came the Adityas, who are the gods. From his wife Diti came the Daityas, or the demons. And it doesn't stop there. He's the ancestor of humans, the great eagle Garuda, the serpentine Nagas, and countless species of animals and plants. Essentially, all of creation just flows right from him. Okay, so from the great progenitor of everything, we're now going to turn to 2 of the most supreme divine mentors. Our next sages, Atri and Vashistha, are remembered first and foremost as teachers to both gods and kings. First up, we've got Sage Atri. Now, like the others, he was a mind-born son of Brahma, but his origin story is super unique. It's said he came directly from Brahma's eye. His wisdom was so deep that even the Hindu trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, took notice. So as a reward for the incredible devotion of Atri and his famously pious wife, Anasuya, the 3 great gods actually agreed to be born as their sons. So Soma, the moon god, was an incarnation of Brahma. The great teacher, Dattatreya, was Vishnu. And the famously short-tempered sage Durvasa was an incarnation of Shiva. I mean, can you imagine having the cosmic trinity as your kids? And then there's sage Vashistha, another direct son of Brahma. This one born from his very breath. His influence is just immense, most famously as the Kulguru or family preceptor to one of the most celebrated royal dynasties in Indian history. Vashistha served the Ikshwaku dynasty, which means he was the personal guru to the legendary Lord Rama and his brothers. He's also credited with writing the entire 7th book of the Rig Veda, one of the oldest sacred texts in existence. And crucially for our story, he possessed Nandini, the celestial wish-fulfilling cow, a source of endless abundance, and, as it turns out, the spark for an absolutely epic rivalry. And that rivalry brings us to one of the most compelling stories in all of Hindu mythology, the story of Vishwamitra. His is a tale of massive ambition, fierce conflict, and really the ultimate test of willpower. The whole conflict really boils down to where they came from. Vashistha was a Brahma Rishi by birth. That's the highest class of sage, one who has realized the ultimate truth. He was just born into that power. Vishwamitra, on the other hand, was born a king, a kshatriya named Kaushik. So he had all the worldly power you could ask for, but he craved that deep spiritual power that Vashistha had, a power symbolized by that cow, Nandini. He was going to have to earn it. And man, what a journey it was. First, as King Kaushik, he tried to just take Nandini by force. But Vashistha's spiritual energy just effortlessly crushed his entire army. That defeat triggered a huge realization. Spiritual power, or Brahma Tej, was infinitely greater than any king's might. So he gave up his kingdom and started thousands of years of the most grueling penance. After countless trials and tribulations, he finally did it. He achieved his goal and earned the title of Brahmarshi from the one and only Vashistha, his former rival. Talk about a full circle moment. All right, now we're going to turn to two sages whose stories are just filled with drama. We're talking strict laws, intense curses, and unwavering, almost unbelievable devotion. Sage Gautam is known as a great lawgiver, but he's probably most famous for a really tragic story involving his wife, Ahilya, a terrible curse, and a long-awaited redemption. As a great intellectual, Gautam's legacy is huge. He wrote the Nyaya Shastra, a foundational text on logic that was a cornerstone of Indian philosophy for centuries. But his personal life was marked by serious turmoil. He was deceived by the god Indra and mistakenly cursed his innocent wife Ahilya, turning her into stone. When his anger finally cooled, though, he provided her a path to release. She would be freed by the touch of Lord Rama's feet, a prophecy that came true many years later. He also performed incredible penance to bring the sacred Godavari River down to earth. Our next sage is Jamadagni, the father of Parashurama, who himself was an avatar of Vishnu. His story is a really stark illustration of the extreme lengths that dharma and obedience could be tested in the ancient world. Okay, this story is intense. Believing his wife Renuka had a fleeting impure thought, Jamadagni flew into a terrible rage. He commanded his 5 sons, one by one, to kill her. The first 4 refused, but the 5th son, Parashurama, obeyed his father's command without a moment's hesitation. Pleased by this absolute obedience, Jamadagni offered him a boon. And Parashurama's very first request? Bring my mother back to life, whole and unharmed. So, we've met a progenitor, mentors, and lawgivers. Our final sage, Bharadwaj, represents a whole other crucial domain of knowledge, science. This guy was as much a researcher and an inventor as he was a spiritual master. I mean, his range of expertise is just staggering. It really challenges our modern idea of separating science and spirituality. He's credited with writing major works on Ayurveda, that's medicine, on law and politics, on the science of weaponry, and maybe most astonishing of all, on the science of aeronautics. It shows this worldview where mastering the physical world was just another path to spiritual insight, a true polymath of the ancient world. And his work on aeronautics, the Viman Shastra, is just wow. It's said to have 3,000 verses detailing how to build and operate different flying machines, or vimanas. The text supposedly describes everything from their propulsion systems to what materials to use, an ancient treatise on flight. It's a truly mind-boggling concept, and it points to this incredibly deep well of scientific thought way back when. So, after all these wild, incredible stories, what's their ultimate legacy? Well, you can actually see it for yourself. Just look up at the night sky. Those 7 bright stars that make up the constellation Ursa Major, which most of us know as the Big Dipper, in India, they're known as the Saptarishis. Their legacy is, quite literally, written in the heavens. And their story? It isn't over. It's been prophesied that at the very end of our current age, when the final avatar of Vishnu, Lord Kalki, arrives, these same 7 sages will descend one more time. They'll emerge to teach Kalki and re-establish dharma and knowledge for the dawn of a new cosmic cycle. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question, doesn't it? Will these ancient celestial guides really return to shepherd humanity through its final chapter?